Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny and this is Jenny Explains the Internet and Life. And we're going to go over this Reddit I just found as soon as I went to reddit.com. First thing I saw was in two hot takes, and it says, my 26 female husband's 26 male best friend 25 male accused me of SA. So she is 26, her husband's 26, and her husband's best friend, who's 25, is accusing her of SA. We got to see what this says. It says, an advice needed. I didn't want to take this straight to Reddit, but I really need some advice from a third party. My friends are so deeply on my side, but I think I need objective advice. We might be able to help you out, girl. So some context. We love context. My husband and I have been together for 11 years, married for 1. During our entire relationship, his friend, Jamie, fake name, has been his closest friend. They've been friends since middle school, so over 15 years. When Jamie got married, my husband was his best man, and he was my husband's best man too. Well, last year I had reached out to Jamie's wife to watch my son, as I did every month or so when my in-laws weren't available. She wasn't available, but had asked me if I was able to meet up with her and talk with her privately, woman to woman. I had no idea what she needed to talk about, and I had asked my husband if he had any ideas, but he didn't have a clue, so he encouraged me to meet up with her. We set a date for the weekend for a restaurant near me, and I was anxious the entire time. I will note I have never been super close to Jamie or his wife, but maintained a sort of friendship through my husband. When we met up with my son in his stroller, it started casually, but then she just says, "So what is this about you effing my husband?" I want to make it clear I have never, nor would I ever, do that with him. I must have looked completely shocked, but I immediately told her that never happened. She tells me that their family has been doing an honesty exercise at night to make it easier for their children to be open with them. Well, apparently on one of those nights, Jamie tells his entire family that one night when he got drunk at my husband's old apartment, that he and I had sex. He was apparently so explicit in detail that she wanted to get my side of the story. The night he is thinking of actually is from 4 years ago. Jamie is a lightweight in comparison to me and my husband, so the only one that got drunk that night was him. We were all playing video games and taking shots over the weekend. Toward the end of the night, I'm cleaning up, and my husband, then boyfriend, is showing Jamie his online Magic Arena decks on his computer, but he ends up falling asleep on the floor of my husband's office. Jamie does. Once I finished cleaning up, I told my husband to get him on the couch and I go to bed. Next day, he was already gone and my husband was doing an extra shift for his remote job, so I never heard anything about it until that day. She said it didn't matter, but she just wanted to make sure. I called my husband to pick me up and paid my half of the bill and left when he got there. Once I loaded up my son into the car, I was stewing, and I just couldn't hold back how disgusted and upset I was and flatly asked my husband, why did Jamie say that he and I had sex? Was it the best time? No, but I just couldn't hold it in. He says, was it the best time to ask that? No, but I just couldn't hold it in. He says, I don't know, but did you? I felt my entire body aching and I yelled, no, why would you even ask me that? Eventually, he had to head back to work and was going to schedule a time to talk to them both, with he and I together. I continued to stew and began writing out what I could remember from that night. We didn't even talk to each other after he got home from work. Eventually, he ends up asking for my phone and checks it. I just felt defeated at that point. I knew I never wanted to see Jamie again, and he can never be in my house. If he wanted to maintain his friendship, it couldn't be anywhere near me, and I told him that. He found nothing on my phone and said he was trying to find something to prove my innocence, which I think is BS. We talked most of it out, and I compromised that since Jamie is close with my husband's parents, if they invite him, I will be cordial, but I needed warning so I can mentally prepare. Understandable. When we eventually meet up with all 4 of us, I say nothing. I just hold my paper of my recollection of that night, and I'm uncomfortable and angry. Then Jamie's wife says, "It was just a very vivid, wet dream. I could barely contain my disgust and betrayal. To accuse me of essentially SA and then chalking it up to a wet dream. After listening to my husband talk about how much their friendship means to him and that he doesn't want to lose him, I never said a word about clutching. I never said a word, just clutching my paper and recording the conversation for posterity. At some point, Jamie finally apologizes, but not to me, but to my husband. Thankfully, my husband told him I'm not the one he should be apologizing to. They all eventually laugh about the situation, but I'm still mad. I don't know how to let go of my resentment, not just for Jamie, but also my husband. It's been months, and every time I have to see him or his wife, I'm faking a smile and swallowing my pride. We aren't in a good financial position to do couples counseling, but I can't carry this anymore. Any advice? Wow. Comments. This is wild. I don't like the fact that your husband is not on your side and now everyone just laughed it away. Your husband is very weird because, best friend or not, that man clearly wanted you and he shouldn't be okay with that at all. Right. This is so messed up. I'd have a serious talk with your husband and explain that you cannot get over his best friend accusing you of SA, especially since your husband didn't automatically believe you and actually checked your phone and questioned you. Yeah, over, like, your husband knows you better than anyone else. He should know that you wouldn't do that, especially with his best friend, but you wouldn't do that in general. What is Jamie what is Jamie I don't know what that means. Yeah, that is not small. That is not a small accusation. That's a huge accusation. And I would be so pissed. I would be so pissed. Those people would not be in my life anymore. I hope that uh, her backbone grows, because I know confrontation is hard. I know it is. But at some point, you have to do it. And these people laughed it off. But SA is a serious allegation. And for them to chalk it up to a wet dream, that's not okay. That your husband being fine with that and his wife being fine with it, that's just not okay. Those two, they're weird. Those three people, the Jamie and his wife and her husband, those three are weird, thinking that that's even okay to laugh at, because that's not funny. That you accused her and then was like, oh, never mind, you didn't actually do that, it was just a wet dream. That's not cool either. Okay, not cool. Not cool. Let me know what you think of that story. My throat's starting to hurt. I'm going to stop this and not read anymore. Going to save my voice and figure out a few things on my husband's computer here and catch you guys in the next one. I'll see you later, okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do like hearing Reddit stories and Reddit updates. And I don't know what deep dive I'm going to do this week, but on Instagram, my video about blue ivy, it got like over 10,000 views, and that's really crazy for me on Instagram. So well, maybe not. I do have some videos, but not a lot. That doesn't happen a lot for me. So I might just have to talk about blue ivy. She's an incredible dancer, so look out for that. I will work on that this week and hopefully have something up by the end of the week. And I'm excited because I'll be starting a job in a couple of weeks. So yeah, since this ain't paying me nothing, I don't know. That's why my videos are not like the best quality, because I don't get paid. So I just like to talk, and I'm going to save my voice so I can continue to talk today. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want. Like the video if you want. Comment if you want. Do whatever you want. But I hope it's a good thing. Bye. I'll put it on your face to make you go take